still be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to another Create a Sim video. As always, you can find links to all of the CC that I'm using in the description down below, and of course you can also find today's sim on the gallery if you use hashtag TheSimPanions, or my gallery ID is also TheSimPanions. It's always in the description down below as well. But without further ado, let's get straight into this. I hope you are all doing well. I just got back from my holiday with my family, and for some reason after I got back like super late on Saturday, well, not super late, at like 8 p.m. or something, 9 p.m, something like that on Saturday. Had to haul my super heavy suitcase up on the 4th floor by myself, which was extremely exhausting, but I did it. And I don't know, ever since I have been so tired. I think it was just a combination of the weather changing so much so quickly. Like, it was super hot in Berlin, but now when I came back it was only like 20 degrees and raining, which I prefer, but I think my body was just like, what is going on? And also just spending that much time with your family, I really underestimated it. Like, when I was there it was fine and I liked it, but now I'm like, I would like to be by myself. Like, the last few days I didn't even want to talk to my boyfriend much. I was like, I just want my alone time. I don't know what it is. I think it was just so much interaction, and also I feel like most of you will know this, families, there's so many weird dynamics, like so many micro arguments, I want to call them, that for me are very hard to get through. I don't like when people argue. I don't like when there's like an underlying annoyance that people have about each other. For me, that is extremely exhausting because I pick up on all of those like small social cues, and it was just a little bit straining. I also just don't like when people argue in general, so I just always try to, like, what is it called? Mend the waters? I don't know. You know what I mean? I always try to like get everyone back to liking each other. So I love harmony. I love when everyone gets along. That is the best. So I always thrive for that, and I felt like I was the person who had to do it, because especially my mom and my sister, they can butt heads very easily. I also am especially distracted right now. Usually already distracted when I record these because, you know, I get sidetracked. But my cat has been so annoying today. I don't know what's wrong with her, but she keeps jumping up and meowing at me. I don't know why. She keeps thinking it's time for dinner, but we have another 2 hours to go, and she is driving me crazy. I literally already fed them twice today and she is still annoying me. Lately I kept moving their dinner time forward by a lot, because it used to be 8 p.m. all the time, and they would maybe start getting annoyed like half an hour before that, but now at 6 p.m. they just bother me, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I feed you and then you're quiet. But I don't get it because it's really early for them to eat. Bear in mind, it's like 6 p.m. and I haven't eaten yet. I woke up way too late today. I don't know what happened. I feel a bit sick, so it is what it is. I'm also just in a slump after the holiday. Like I said, very low energy. The holiday itself though was so nice. I don't know, it just, like, the place we went to in North Germany, it was just so nice. It was by the beach, well, like a 15-ish minute bike ride, but it was along this river, and it was just so peaceful, so nice. The weather, we got so lucky because in the north of Germany it can get quite rainy and like cold and windy, and it was just the perfect weather. Most days were just sunny. I did tan quite a lot, which I didn't expect. It was quite sunny. There's just a little nice breeze because we were by the ocean. It wasn't too hot but not too cold, you know, just the perfect weather where, like, even in the morning you get out and you're like, it's a little bit fresh, but I like it. And then we always had breakfast outside. The Airbnb we stayed in was absolutely gorgeous. There were horses right outside, like in front of the garden. I just hit my mic, I'm so sorry if you heard that. Like right outside in the front, well, in front of the front garden. There were horses, not by the owners of the Airbnb, but by people who lived around. There was so many horses in general, which was so funny with like the recent sim pack that came out, because I'm not a huge horse person, but I feel like I'm turning more into one. Like, I don't want to ride them or anything, I just want to look at them. They're so cute. And we like pet them all the time. There was one of them which was so cute. He was like, keep putting his head on your shoulder and just rest there. It was so incredibly cute. And if you know me, I love animals in general. Like I'm a huge animal person, and there were also cows down the road, and like I said, a bunch of other horses that we kept visiting. And my boyfriend luckily is also a big animal person. Like no one in my family apart from my sister paid any attention to the horses. I think they looked at them and they're like interested in them, but not, they didn't go up and stroke them, which was interesting to me. To be fair, my stepdad, this is so funny because there were 2 horses there and one, I believe it was still a foal. It was a little bit smaller, and I think it was their baby actually. And my stepdad like walked up, and this baby foal never like walked up to anyone before, and if it did, the parents always got very protective and kind of like moved it along and was like, no, don't go to the humans. But my stepdad walked like up to the gate, and then the like baby just walked up to him, and I was like, that's interesting because it didn't do that with anyone else. And he's like, I'm kind of scared of horses. And I was like, oh, maybe I can sense that. But it was so cute, bless him. He was like, I just, they're a bit intimidating. And I was like, yeah, I get that, they're huge, and I don't understand horses. Like a lot of things they did, I was like, what is even going on? Like, what are you doing? What are you trying to say? What is this body language? I don't get it. And then I read up on a few things, like for example, they kept stomping their legs, and it could mean a million things. Like it could mean that they're annoyed by the flies that are around. It could mean that they're annoyed by the people who are around. It could mean that they have an itch. There are just so many things, or like that they're playful or bored. And I was like, okay, so they could be bored trying to just like get a fly off of you. They could be extremely annoyed. I was like, how do you read this? But I mean, they didn't walk away or did anything, so I would assume it was just flies. There were like a ton of flies around as well, which I knew there's a lot of flies around horses, but they always kept sitting on their eyes, and it just made me feel so sad because a lot of them were like extremely disturbed by it, and some of them were wearing like hats with little fly nets over their eyes, which I'm sure people who live more on the countryside know this, but I had no idea about that. I don't know. Horses? Just a mysterious thing to me. But it was very nice, and the beach was very nice. It wasn't like a beach where you go to swim really, because at the North Sea here we have a lot of tides. I don't know if it's like, I think we went to this like one guided tour into it because the water, the ocean ebbs and floods, and it means that it like retreats a lot, and it has to do with just like the moon. I think the tide, like every 6 hours or something, there's either low tide or high tide, and it retreats so much, and that only happens in like very specific parts of the world. Like there isn't actually that many, and it's quite cool because when there's low tide you can walk into what usually is the ocean so far and like see a lot of animals and shells, and I don't know, it's just really cool. And there's these weird worms that keep like pooping everywhere. It's interesting. To say the least. Also the sand there was so nice, it's so soft, but like I said, you don't really go there to swim. We just like walked along the shore, or like dipped our toes in and walked in a bit, like waded in. It was just nice. I also did break something in my foot. I don't know if it was my toes or like the thing in between my toes. I don't know. I hurt my foot just before the vacation, and luckily it was fine because I was just wearing my sandals literally 24/7. So that was good. But it was a bit annoying when we did like the tour because you sink into the sand quite a lot because it's like wet usually, so you just sink in so far, and after that I think my foot hurt because I usually just didn't put weight on that side of the foot, it's more on my right side, like near the little toe, so I would just avoid that and use the left side of my foot, but I couldn't when I was sinking in everywhere. It was just an experience. It was kind of interesting, to say the least. And the guy was like, usually with every group I have, there's one person who falls because you just sink in so far. Like, I think he said the max you can sink in is like 40 centimeters. And I was like, oh my God, that's so far. And he says usually one person falls. And I was like, that's definitely going to be me. Luckily, it wasn't. I'm so proud of myself. I was like, I did not fall. It wouldn't be a big deal usually, I feel like, but just when you're on vacation and you didn't bring a lot of clothes, it was a mess. I also forgot to bring jeans because my boyfriend was like, you won't need jeans, it will be so warm. And then there were a few days where it was quite cool, and I was like, I wish I had jeans right now. And he was like, don't come for me. Even though I made him responsible for like organizing what I'm packing. I packed the night before when he was already here. I think it was the night of our anniversary actually, which was very nice. We watched the Barbie movie. I need to talk about that in a different video because that movie was so unhinged. Like, I loved it, but it was so unhinged. I don't even know what was going on half of the time, but I loved it. And I kind of finally can, you know, join the conversation when people talk about it, even though now no one's talking about it anymore. It happens every single time with like TV series or movies. I watch them way too late. I'm like, I get what the hype is about. And then people are like, Cora, we liked this like 2 months ago. What are you talking about? But anyways. That was my holiday. It was nice on a grand scheme, you know. I think I was just exhausted after. I also feel a little bit sick, which makes sense because we traveled by train. We took like 4 or 5 different trains, I think, which was a lot, but it was okay. It went by quite quick because we always had to like change and then sometimes had like a 30-minute delay in between, so it was fine. But I think you always get sick when you travel with a lot of people, so I feel a little bit under the weather. Hopefully feel better in a few days. But anyways, with that said, haven't talked about the Sim. I hope you love her because I think she's gorgeous. Let me know what your favorite outfit of hers is, and if you did enjoy today's video, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
I think I might be hooked on you. I love the things you said to me, it seems like you like me too.